I've spent the better half of this month creating art. Now what's really cool is at first it was definitely a little bit of a little bit of a strength test, a little bit of an endurance test. It's for sure had its difficulties along the way is what I'm trying to say. But I really love what I produced. And today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about each piece. Exactly, maybe some of the things that went into it, some of the feelings, some of the thoughts, most of them kind of the same. But overall, I feel like what I have to say here will be of value to you. So let's start with the first one, which is my Vietnam soldier. Now this one was kind of cool. Like I said, it's had its struggles, but this one was actually fairly simple. A lot of what I did was kind of just experimental. So I started by painting the whole entire background, kind of the base tone of the photograph, which is kind of this greenish black and white photo. It's a black and white photo with a greenish hue. And then as it started drying, I knew it was gonna dry lighter. So I made sure to just kind of emphasize the color that I wanted just a slight bit. So I'd get closer to what I needed. And then I threw some salt on top to create kind of that sparkly, snowflakey effect in the background. And then immediately after, I focused on the shadows. This is the process. If you're gonna mix watercolor and Prismacolor together, this is the process you'll find yourself continuously repeating over and over and over again. Focus on getting your light, then covering the shadow. And ultimately, you'll have a good piece if you follow that method every single time. The reference though, that's what's gonna make or break it. That's what's gonna make it look cool. So of course, I thought it was an awesome piece. This one's actually for sale for $50, as are the others. But nothing too crazy there. It's genuinely just overall a good piece. So yeah. The next one is a little bit more fun. This is my NASCAR racing piece. I basically was flipping through a book that we have in the art room and found a picture that I thought was pretty fascinating. Lots of smoke going on, lots of colors, lots of reflections, lots of shadows, lots of textures, very gritty and deep, and it was actually one of the favorites that I posted on Instagram. Again, this one is also for sale for $50. The third one, this is my Doberman piece. I knew I wanted to do a Doberman. I actually found a tattoo design that I really liked. I needed to update this and make it more artistic, not black and white, nothing too basic or simple, which tattoos tend to get that way. But the only issue I started facing, it was just left and right. Like I threw the backwash on, which is this bright orange. And I was gonna let that dry, then throw another layer on top, and then throw some salt onto that so that the orange would kind of pop through. But it didn't really work out as I planned. It ended up kind of looking really muddy. I think part of it is that I didn't let the orange really dry enough. But in the end, I actually started to like it until I started splattering these like red paint splashes all over. It's like, oh, well, I just need to bring out some color in the background. I realized soon after doing that it looked kind of like blood. Which is like, I can't post this on YouTube. Can't post it on Instagram. But I was like, whatever, just keep going. Worst comes to worst, I'll take acrylics and I'll paint over the whole background with like a turquoise or something like that. But instead, I started really liking it, especially because I was missing some of my Prismacolors. I was missing a white, I was missing a black. All the colors I was using as a substitution, like indigo blue, kind of this white green tone, close enough to white. It actually all started bringing this picture really, really well together, and it made it so stylized and so fun. I actually ended up being one of my favorites. And then to top things off, I took an acrylic clear coat spray, and I sprayed it on top, not knowing what results would come out of it. Of course, the paper absorbed all of the moisture as watercolor paper is supposed to do. But the Prismacolor, because it's got that waxy finish on top, it didn't. And so the Doberman itself is really shiny. The background is a little bit more matte toned, but the whole thing is well protected. And that, I don't know, it just ended up being one of my favorites. Now I say it ended up being one of my favorites, but then the next day, things changed a lot. My wife and I, Natalie, we watched the movie Fight Club, and then I got really inspired. I was like, I gotta do a portrait of Tyler Durden. So I found a good photo of him, and then I started recreating it. Of course, because I'd taken the picture of it from my phone as I was watching it on the TV, the colors were a little bit different, so I had to edit it and change it up a little. And actually ended up coming out very, very different from what I expected. The colors are just so vibrant, but almost more duo-toned at the same time. It was like reds and blues, reds and blues, reds and blues. That was a whole entire color palette, and it looked really cool, especially as I started bringing out this really, really, really light blue that I had. It's kind of like an ice blue, especially for the hair and for the textures, for the reflections. And this picture was actually my favorite. I'm still trying to figure out if this is my favorite today. But then there's another one I did, which I liked a lot more in some ways, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like it, then awesome. But this one's also for sale for $50. Tyler Durden. Ugh, I love it. Now, I kind of lose track, but I believe that this one is the next one. This was a replication of a painting I did just a year ago. I took a picture of a guy on his motorcycle with a funny looking helmet, and it became one of my favorite photos I ever took. So I painted it, and then eventually I redid it again in this challenge because I was looking for references. And I like it overall, but it's not... I think there's some things I would have done different. I would have gone a little bit thicker with the Prismacolors. So if there's any advice I'd give you guys, make sure you go thick with your Prismacolors wherever you need to. Don't leave it kind of fizzy or faded. I think it looks really good for the background if you do it that way. But if you're looking at the main subject, at least for me, this style for me wasn't my favorite, but I still really like the piece overall. I think it looks really cool, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. Now, is this something that you'd want to hang up in your house? I don't know. If you guys like it, it's also for sale for $50, as all of these are, except for this next one, which is Batman. I was kind of on this movie craze at this point. Clearly, after doing the Fight Club one, I had to do my next favorite movie, which was The Batman with Robert Pattinson. And I actually really like this one. Again, duotoned. It's got this really cool sheen from the acrylic spray. And what I really fell in love with is the highlights. When I start adding these pinks for the highlights that kind of just surround Batman, all those different things, I don't know, I just really did fall in love with it. This one is my favorite piece and actually is not going to be for sale, unfortunately. Of course, as the movie trend went, I had to do another. This one is Nacho Libre. I was going to do the Penguin next, but I was like, no, I feel like 2 Batman paint pictures in a row might be a little bit overwhelming for some of you guys, so I didn't do it. But here it is, Nacho Libre. I really like this one. I got a little bit more textury, a little bit more fun. I experimented a little bit with shadows. So when you look at it at some angles, you know, the shadows will stay matte. And it's not something you could really notice unless you're here in person. But this one looked really fun. I thought it looked a lot like the original guy. Might have added a couple pounds onto him, but you know what? It works, and that's art for you. You know, you change what you can, where you can, and if it looks good, hey, people want it. Again, another one I was like, should I keep this? Should I put it up for sale? But ultimately I decided to put it up for sale. This one's also $50, even though it's the biggest one I did of this series. Finally and last, I did the Penguin from The Batman. If you guys watched this series, The Penguin, it was pretty good. I loved it. A little bit dark, a little bit creepy, but here you guys go. This is the Penguin, one that was probably the most customized, right? It was 100% my reference. I edited it, I used AI, which the AI ended up not working, so I didn't keep it. I also uploaded the video on this just yesterday, so if you guys want to watch that, check it out, as are the rest of the videos. They're all in the feed as I'm posting every day in August, except for Sundays. I kept it a little bit more comic book style, which in a sense was fun, with these newer characters and actors and things like that. By far, I really loved how the Penguin was portrayed in this universe of the Batman, I guess you could say. Just super cool. Mafia, love it. Love it, love it, love it. But if you guys enjoy this one's also for $50. Haven't posted on my Instagram, but keep your eyes out if you're really looking for it. It will be up. I love it. Really a fun one. Of course, as always, I'm signing it with an acrylic pen. So if you're wondering how I'm doing it, Prismacolor or acrylic, I've been kind of bouncing between the two. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a collection that I've had lots of fun creating. And honestly, it was all just for you guys, which makes it mean so much more to me in a lot of ways. But if you guys want to see more like this, let me know. Honestly, the likes, the comments, just you guys communicating that to me really helps me. It helps me to recognize what you guys want, what you guys want to see more of. And if you do have an idea, then leave a comment down below. Anyways, my name is Gabriel Bowman. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I upload every single day in August, except for Sundays. So without further ado, I'm going to let you guys get going, but I will see you tomorrow.